the button now. All righty, welcome, 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 everybody. This is the July Soulfully Aligned Business Expansion Experience. I really like that title, but it's kind of a mouthful. I have a cold, so you might get sniffling in the, the scratchy voice. Really excited today to talk about how to unlock your visibility. This is something that I work with a lot with people because I feel like this is like so many, especially women, have such an issue with getting visible. So the focus mainly is going to be on the internal, the energetic, right? I will say, I'm not going to show you how to get new followers. There's plenty of people that do that. But my slice, and I think why this matters the most, is because you can use all those tactics and still not be able to pull the trigger. And so that's my genius, is like, what is in the way, right? We have to make it safe. And that makes no sense, right? Like, well, duh, why wouldn't it be safe? Well, you'd be surprised, right? So in this experience, we're going to do a lot of like journaling and conversation. I will break into some clearing. So the way this works is I have some PowerPoint slides. I'll talk from the slides. I'm going to come back to the beautiful women in the room, come back there. And I always follow guidance. So sometimes something will be popping and I'm like, hold on, we got to do a clearing right now. So those of you who come regularly know that this is how we roll. And usually this is one of the best parts, or like, oh, clearing's fabulous. So, and if you're listening to it, you don't have to be in the room real time to get the clearing. So that's pretty cool too. All righty. So let me just share the PowerPoint here. Maybe, here we go. Okay. Can y'all see that? Yep. How do I slideshow? There we go. I have a cold. I'm not even gonna worry about any of this. If you don't, can you tolerate that there's some things on this side? I'm like, I don't have the bandwidth to make this different. Okay, so this matters, right? You're here for a reason. Are you here because you know you want to serve in a bigger way? Like, I want to activate you. The reason we're doing this slide is I want you to really remember why. Because what's going to happen is when your small self is like, oh, but what are they going to think, right? Like that whole thing. Like I want you to really get. I wish I could get this right. Why is it not? Okay, somebody help me out here. I'm like so brain dead. I can't even get this. View. There we go. No, it's not working. I'm sorry. I can't figure out the slides today. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm having some computer trouble. Okay. So do you know you're here to serve in a bigger way? And I want you to say yes or type yes in the chat, right? You want to put more of yourself in the business. So that's the thing where most people, I know, somebody on the call earlier when we were talking about who they are, she has kind of this other part to her that might be a little scary to talk about, right? And what I find, a lot of the women I work with, they're known for this one thing, and then they want to add more, or they want to expand, like, wow, I got some gifts, like I talk to dead people, or I really want to be a career coach, or like this stuff I've not really done before. It's like, wow. So you want to put yourself, another aspect of you. You might want to pivot your business, and you're tired of figuring out by yourself. Is that like a heck yeah? Heck yeah, I'm tired of figuring out myself. Is that all you? Okay, you're in a good place. So most of you know me on the call. I've been doing this stuff for 20 years. I was a psychotherapist, a master's degree, practiced literally for 20 years, and it informs a lot of what I know. And then in 2001, do the math, 23 years, I entered the coaching industry. And along the way, I really realized that I have kind of some crazy ninja-like intuition. And so now I blend. This is really cool triumvirate, if you will. I go in, like, the intuition always shows me. I pick up my pendulum, so you'll probably see me, right? I pick up the pendulum and I'm like, oh, what happened when you were 7? That's where the block is held. The energy's stuck there, and we go in and then we open it up. And I use either the understanding of psychology and energy and epigenetics and all that. And then we can walk it out. We can create solutions through the business coaching. Very cool. Okay, so I want to hear from you. Unlocking your visibility will let you show up more boldly, get clients you would love to work with, have your content flow more easily, find if marketing is more authentic, and become a trusted expert. So I want to hear from you, if you could get more visibility, what would you get? Like, I really want to hear. And I want to hear words. So don't type it in the chat. I want to hear, like, what would you get? And if you're watching this, because again, you have to have a why. Sometimes when we have to be bigger than our stuff, right? What if you have family messaging about, oh, people don't really care what you like. Why are you showing this? Who are you? Or, the little gremlins. If you have that going in the background, one of the techniques literally is to connect with the why. Okay, the reason I have to do this is. So I'd like to hear from my beautiful women on the call. So just feel free, just open up, tell me why? What do you want to?
I would show up more boldly.
Nice, nice. Okay.
Mm.
And what would you get? What's the why of that? Why would that matter for you?
Why would that matter? Because I can be more powerful in my communication and feel that I connect better with my potential clients.
Beautiful. Nice. Beautiful. That's really good. Okay. So if I show up boldly, I'll be better and connect more. And then you could literally, marketing, one of the tricks is so when you connect more, and it might be Annabelle, like, because I can help them like nobody else. Or do you just see me like take it as a little step? Okay, anybody else? What's the why? One or two more people. What's your why? This really is the fuel. So Kristen, why do you need to get your stuff out there? And then Sophie.
So I'll be living authentically, like in my zone of genius, or just living authentically.
And why does that matter? And that's like, duh, but I want to hear why it matters. Because when it's scary, you're like, no, this matters more. So why does that matter?
I think it would just help in so many areas of my life. Like, I feel like I'm not moving forward in different areas because of this.
Right. Beautiful. See that instead of like, I should do this because somebody told me to do some visibility activities, versus my whole life will get better when I'm being authentic and I'm sharing that. Beautiful. Silky. And then we'll move
on. If I had more visibility, I would attract the remaining members for my eco community and also investors and benefactors to make the dream happen.
Which would mean that see when it's half the answer. So
which would mean that we would be able to create the off-grid community much faster and start living independently.
Beautiful. And you're a model for other people, like this can be done, right? So it's for you and the other people. Okay. And welcome, Janet. Glad you're here, darling. Okay, we're good. Let me get back to my slides. Let me find them. Okay. So this is the most important distinction. I want you to really, really, really get this. You can be visible or you can be seen. You can be visible or you can be seen. And here's the deal. How many times have you looked at people on a social media platform and they put like every day, like a quote, or, sharing puppy pictures? Nothing's wrong with it. We need more puppy pictures, or it's just like, buy this. And my question is, do you see them? You might see their stuff. It might be prolific little posters, but do you? And so here's my bias. I'm going to share my bias, and y'all can go, no, that's silly. But I'm assuming if you're in my community, you're really similar in terms of values. I want to work with a person that I can see his or her heart. I can see their values. I can see maybe they've gone through some stuff and they're on the other side. I can see and feel what it would feel like to be held by them. Does that make sense? Some people want the shiny, like, oh, but I love that 7-figure lifestyle, and they're attracted to the externals. And for some people, that's totally fine. Generally, the people I work with and attract are ones that are very relational. Raise your hand if like you're relational. You want to be cared about. You want to be known, right? And so, hold on, I gotta take a sip of water. Hold on. One of my favorite stories. No, this is an example of being seen. Okay. So it was, I don't know, 12 years ago. I was in San Francisco at a business event, and my son was playing basketball and took an elbow. Oops. So did my computer. Took an elbow, completely shattered his orbital bone, and like he had bone chips in his eye. I mean, it was really horrifying. So I had to fly home the next day, and he had, major reconstruction surgery. And at that time, I was probably sending like 2 emails a week, and every Tuesday I'd send an email. And so I just was real. And I sent an email to my list, and I just said, normally I send you content, and our families had an emergency, and John had this, really bad surgery. And if you could just say some prayers for our family, I would really appreciate that. That was it. One day later, I get through the, work with Teresa, like the connection forum, this woman that I didn't even know her name. And she booked a call to see about working with me. And again, I hadn't known her. I didn't know who she was. She was on my list. And she said, when you wrote that, it showed me who what your values were, because I'm caring for my elderly parents, and the fact that you are caring for your son and are so family oriented, you're the coach I want. So that's an example. And I didn't do it to get anything. I was just being seen in the good and the bad and the painful and the scary. I'm pretty transparent. So my idea is the more you are literally seen, the better. The more people can. Now, again, not everybody's going to go there. People are like, I don't give a shit about your son. Can you get me to 6 figures? Those aren't generally my clients. So any questions about that? And are you being seen? Are you like, right on, absolutely? Or are you, that feels kind of weird and scary to me? Where are you with that? Because not everybody's going to relish this. Not everybody's, it's easier if somebody gives you a 30-day social media plan and do motivation Mondays and thankful Thursdays and and you put little quotes and share shit. Okay, I'm not seeing you. Anybody want to say anything? Yeah, Alice.
Yeah, so I don't really know what that content would be to be seen.
Yeah. And it's not specific content, right? It's not on Mondays, share a vulnerable story. On Tuesdays, show what you're eating. It's not that specifically. It's just, and you'll know. So here, you're really in tune. Ask your body, truth, am I open to being seen? Yes or no?
I'm leaning backwards, so apparently
Okay.
no.
There you go. Right. And we're going to get into that, the why. But to me, visibility isn't about more freaking followers. It's not the numbers. It's, are you seen? Do they have the, so Alice works, she's an equine therapist, right? If I follow Alice's content, would I, as a potential customer, say, I know exactly what it would be like to work with her? Oh my gosh, because I can feel her. Right. And there's one thing to give a testimonial, but is there a feeling? Like, I'm a big lover. I'm a big love. I tell my clients I love them. I'm a weirdo like that. And so that should translate. Y'all are here probably because of that. I probably told you somebody that I love you. Right. So my clients that want to have that, like, God, I love that my coach like really loves me, and really, versus a coach is like, yeah, I don't care about that. Just give me your accountability sheets. Right. So it's parts of your life, but it's, is the you that's in there being seen, or are you hiding? Okay. So I want to go to another slide. Where's my, okay. Let's share. Okay. So here's the challenge, and you probably all know this already. Can you see this slide? We basically have access to 5% of our conscious mind. So that means 95% is in the unconscious or subconscious. So your visibility is stuck down there. It's not that you're not smart. It's not that you are lazy The reason, because some of you are like, I don't know why I'm blocked, or I'm kind of afraid. This is where it is. You do not need to take the 5% and figure out more freaking strategy. And I'm not bashing strategy, because I mean, it's not hard. Do a video a day, do 3 times a week. Not hard. Like that literally is not the hard part. The hard part is, why the hell aren't you? Or if you're doing it, why is it not all the way getting it? You know, because we can be doing the things, but our subconscious is also like, you know, one of the women on the call was like, I throw the spaghetti out, but I don't want anybody to see the spaghetti, right? Like, I love that, right? So we also can be doing all the right actions, but then there's like an invisibility cloak around us, right? So what I want to tell you is, when I say safety always wins, you can't out action a nervous system. You can't out action the epigenetics that tell you that it's not safe. Like there was a woman, and you might have heard this story before. This blew me away. That sometimes I pick up my pendulum and I'm like, good hell, how did I know that? Right. And so a woman was coming to one of these calls. It was about visibility. And I didn't know her. She wasn't a client of mine. Yeah, she signed up later, but she's like, I don't know, same thing. I'm really struggling. I just can't, no matter what I do, and I'm paying this coach. And so with her permission, I tune in, and I'm like, okay, there's something in your with your mother, in your mother's childhood, in your mother's life. And the woman said, oh, she grew up in a war-torn country. And so the messaging was, you have to hide. And actually the soldiers came in and took the mother's brother and made him join the opposing forces army. So think about that. She wasn't even alive. This happened to her mother, right? So this is called epigenetics. Very often we bring in things, not even ours, not even our experience, but it was living in her cellular memory. And so when I could go, poof, okay, let's clear that. No problem with visibility. But before she had, so it was not safe in her system. And what I would say is, when you have awareness, you have choice. So when I'm like, boom, this is what it is, we pop the energy of it. Now she has a choice. And anytime she would start like, she would say, this isn't, let's say Israel, whatever the country was, this isn't that, this doesn't need to happen, this is not true, right? So she could just like, oh, wait, I'm safe today. I'm safe today. Does that make sense to you? That to me blows my mind, that there's so much causation that is out of our awareness. So I want you to, it's easy to go, oh, I just need a new strategy. I need a new banner. I need a better handle. Yes, we need those things. But mostly people I think are fixing the wrong thing. It's easier to fix out there. Okay, I'll take a sip of water. Any questions so far? How are we doing? I've been chatting. I need share, say something to me. I'm kind of like a slot machine. I'm a wild extrovert that needs a little feedback. Or I say to my partner, I need some words. And he's like, words?
It's just interesting and inspiring. And I heard you mention this before about being seen.
Yeah.
Still, it's how do we, it's in my head, probably.
Yeah.
And I know the subconscious does a lot of things with us, but it's kind of difficult to get hold on.
Exactly.
And that's how we should be visible.
That's why you're here. Okay, well, so the how, again, so sometimes what happens is, that's also the gremlins making you dumb. And I'm not saying you're dumb, but our gremlins are like, I don't know how would you, I don't know. I'm not saying that's you, but we're all really, really freaking smart, resourceful people here. We're so smart. And suddenly we're like, that's bullshit, right? And sometimes, like if somebody says, like, actually, I had a guy yesterday showing me how to like repair my pool. I'm like, girl with tools now. I didn't know how to take apart the impeller before. I do now. So it literally was a gap of knowledge, but marketing is not hard. Visibility is not hard. There's a million examples, right? And so ask yourself, is it really true you don't know how, or is it not safe? And we already know the answer, right? So the goal is to kind of call, the goal is like, because if we go not how, then we get, I don't know the how, then we get kind of paralyzed. So the better question is, if I already knew the how, then what? right? Because we kind of like bullshit, not true. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And one more thing.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's like sometimes we kind of makes ourselves either sick or something due to fear of visibility?
Bingo. Has anybody had like I would mine gets acted out in my body. Mine's so beautiful it throws me down. My subconscious is so powerful. It like creates injuries and it's very often my hands. So I'll come home and then boom, get an injury. I'll be like, okay, I've got this, oh my gosh, I've got this great, new idea. Oh crap, I just fell off a bike and hurt myself, right? That's how mine has played out. And that for me was past lives. I had to do a whole bunch of clearing on the past life stuff. So if you have chronic recurring, every time I get started, I get like one of the main ways you can know if it's a subconscious block is stop-start patterns, right? Stop. I'm going to have this. Oh crap. The kids got sick. I couldn't do it. I'm going to have this. Oh shoot, my back went out. I'm going to have this. Right. That's usually a subconscious pattern. Okay. Great point there, my dear. Okay. So here's the deal. A conflicting intention. So this is this is the subconscious part, right? So the 5% of you is like, this is what I want. Yes, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to do all the visibility. I'm going to do the videos. I'm going to be vulnerable. La, 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 la. I'm going to make offers. I'm going to pick up the phone. Yes, the 5%, right? And then what happens, you'll know you're in the grip of something from the subconscious. If it's doubt, fear, lack, overwhelm, stop, start, or codependence patterns. So what that means is your subconscious is like, no. Is that so? Y'all following me with that? It's maddening. It's maddening because you're only aware of this is what I desire, and then all of a sudden all this shit's falling on you. It's like, wait, why am I in overwhelm? Why do I have all this doubt? So those of you who have followed me a while have heard me say this, but I love this concept. So I need to tell you this. I have this thing called the expansion zone. And so we are wired, we are one with nature. So we're wired to expand. Why do you think y'all are here? Why do you think you're working with visibility? Freaking Silky's building an eco village in Bulgaria. What? Right? Like think about, we are called to do amazing, cool, wonderful things. So that's the expansion part. That's our nature. And the body, see the brain here is literally just like the electrical system. It just makes sure everything runs, right? So I consider that the body, or what the subconscious, like the part that's like, and that's not safe. The body, brain, mind will shut you down. So you will hear, who's going to listen to you? Why? Who do you think you are? That's going to be hard, right? So one party wants to expand, and the other part is, and again, it's just the system. So every time you get oh my God, that'd be so cool. Holy shit, that's not going to work. Like, so there's an expansion and then a contraction. And the goal is to understand the process right there. Because when you go, oh, okay, wow, that's so fascinating. That's a thing Therese talked about. Oh, I don't have to be hostage to it. I just have to know that this is natural, a contraction, and how do I get out of it? So these are some of the tools to get out of it, right? So all of you are here to expand, but some of you are stuck in the contraction phase. So that's why with this, I go really deep on the what it is, because when you have awareness, you have choice, right? Gonna get a hell yeah, or amen, or something there. Yes, okay. All right, hold on. And apologies for the PowerPoint. I'm literally like, I got only this much bandwidth too. I'm doing the best I can today. So we're going to see the other slides. Okay, so this is the unconscious visibility affairs. And I want you to maybe, grab your phone, do a little screen capture of this, take some notes. These are the questions that you need to answer for yourself. So maybe grab a screen capture, write them down, and then we're going to talk about it in a minute. everybody have them? Yes? I can't hear anybody. Okay, I'm going to put them in the chat for everybody that's on the, there we go. Okay, there we go. You got it? Okay. So the reason I bring these up is because these are some of the kind of generic, the ones that kind of, so, excuse me. Here's what I want you to do. We're going to just do a quick, hold on, which one do I do? There we go. Was that that one? Yeah. Okay. How does my shining affect others? Some people are raised in the, you have to be smaller than people around you. And Bert, is it you in your country? Is that the tall poppy or is it? Talk
Yeah,
about
they
that.
call it the law of Jante, or the Jante
Right.
law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is
That's
that?
correct.
Explain that.
It's like, I think it's a way to hold people down.
Right.
That you should be like everybody else and not stand out.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
The Angela. Okay. So if you were raised in that country or with those beliefs, and then here you are, you're listening to these crazy coaches in the US that are like, grow, expand, you can do anything. So what we have to know is we are tribal creatures in nature, right? And our safety, think back to the first peoples, the cave peoples, or the literally the first, the pioneers, the settlers, whatever. If you strayed away from the pack or the tribe or the group, what would happen? You'd die. Generally, you wouldn't have food. You'd be, there's predators, Indians, or big animals that would get you. So we literally are wired to stay. Okay, well, this is what they all think and say. And in your mind, you could go, bullshit, I don't accept that. But we have to go, is any of that living in you? So I want you, here's how we do this. I want you to go, each of you, for this first question. Truth, is this living in me, yes or no? Anybody get a yes? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So here's just, I'm just going to show you a really quick process. Okay. So it's living in you. So is it yours or somebody else's? So truth, just like, and you're asking your body, you're tuning into the energy. Is it mine? Yes or no? Is it somebody else's? Yes or no? Let's see what you notice. Anybody got anything? Okay. So the way you do it is, number one, to discover, is this, wow, do I have any of this? Could this be a thing? For some of you, it's like, not at all. I have total permission to shine. I was raised in a family where I was expected to shine, all good, all safe. Bless you, you're lucky. So that's kind of how you sort it out. You can use a pendulum. You can just ask your body. You can just ask your higher self. Like, there's ways to discover. Okay, second one. Who would be threatened by me getting more visible? I'll give you an example. I was working with a woman who at the time probably was about a $500,000 earner, and she had a goal of creating 7 figures. And so I was actually on a stage at this event, and I was doing my work with her with this kind of stuff. And so my goal was to find, was she really aligned, and could she really hold the 7 figures that she was desiring? And what I found through my process was nope, because she had a young daughter. And so who was threatened was, oh my gosh, if I get more visible, then it's going to affect my child. I'll be too busy. And so she didn't know this in her head. She was like, oh, I can do 7 figures. But the subconscious is like, not safe. That relationship would be affected. Right? So ask yourself, and again, these are journal things, and we're not going to solve everything. So I'm just giving you the points, maybe do a little talking about it, but I want you to go in and go, are there relationships that would be affected? Who would be threatened if I got more visible? Who would I feel I was disrespecting if I made it big? Ooh, anybody have that one? I think yeah, Janet, yeah. Sometimes with men, I can't make more than my father. I would be disrespectful, right? So there's that. who am I afraid I'll become? This is a huge one. And so when I say visible, I also mean successful, prosperous. You know, it's all of it, right? When you're more visible, all the things that come with visibility. And years ago, I made, I worked in very young in my career. I was working in a coaching company, and it started out really good, and then it got really bad because a woman changed. And in my mind, I chalked it up to she was on the success train, and she was a 6-figure business trying to get the 7-figure. And I just saw her turn into this liar. Like she turned, like her values fell out the window. She was shitting on her clients. It was just like, oh my. So in my mind, no, not consciously, but I took on, if I make more money, then I'll turn into her. And like 5 years ago, I was in an event and I'm working on money blocks, whatever. I had no idea. I had no idea. Because I'm like, oh, I would never be her. I'm like, not that person. I'm the most honest, authentic person. I will tell you, oh, that launch didn't work. Nope, didn't work. Right. But I was so like afraid of becoming like her. I went the complete opposite and limited my visibility, wouldn't own my value, wouldn't say like bold statements because I was terrified of turning into her. And I had no idea that was living in. So is there anybody that's like, yeah, if I get more visible, which equals more successful, more money, more, who am I afraid I'll become? Maybe this is a big one. So anybody, can you answer this? Yeah. We got something. Alice, go ahead.
Yeah. I feel it in my body. I don't have the
Okay.
best,
Okay.
I don't have
Yeah.
words for it.
But there's an energy of, ugh, I don't want to become that.
Yeah. And certainly there are the female, don't, the female mother, grandmother, all of that, of don't be better than a man, don't make more than a man, don't show them up, don't,
Yeah.
don't be better at working on your car. I mean, I used to work on my own car. It's like, you'll never go to get a good husband that way and things. And it's like, but,
Okay.
and she didn't even know she was saying it.
Yeah, but it was right. It's generational.
Yeah. And I still feel that.
Okay. Can we clear that really fast? Can we clear that really fast for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to use a prop. Use this prop, my Kleenex prop. So imagine that it's like it's like, it's on you, right? It's literally the ancestral overlay. And this is, I love that you bring this up because literally we are swimming in the soup of our ancestors. We're swimming in their beliefs, their limits, their indictments. You'll never get a man if you're strong. There's a certain way women have to be. And I want you to, Alice, I want you to imagine like you're unhooking. And so I want you to, which way does it go? Yeah. Okay. Unhook from it. And then get these words. You're going to imagine you're going to turn around and face your ancestors, face all the women who had heard all that and really thought that was true and thought they were loving you by giving you, because that was true. At one point, that was true, right? They're not trying to harm you. They're just going, oh my God, in order to get a good man, you got to be this, right? But you unfortunately still have some. So we're going to pull it off energetically and you're going to turn to them and honor them. You're going to honor their contribution. I'm here today because of you. And I take all the good, there we go. Ooh, all the good energy, all the good intentions, all the good that you were trying, all the wishes for me. That's a big one. Everything you wish for me, I receive all that. And now I have to leave you to lead you. I have to leave this paradigm. I have to leave this narrative of lack in order to lead you and me and all the women I am around to the next level. Does that make sense? And just so you honor first, bless, and then go. There we go. Oof. Beautiful. Okay. How is that?
Better. Thank you.
Yeah. But see, that's an example. This stuff, like we could spend days doing all the clearing, but that's an example. So these questions I want you to ask for yourself is anything in there for me? Okay, next slide. You're free to ask questions, by the way, too. Feel free, jump in. Okay, I'm gonna get over here. Okay, I love this one. More places to look for clues. Okay. You might be carrying others' emotions. Meaning maybe there's family shame, the yanta thing, or the tall poppy thing that, you might be carrying. I'm of Irish descent, and my grandma used to always say, oh, don't be putting on airs, meaning, you have to be humble and you can't talk about yourself. You don't want to be considered like an embarrassment by talking about yourself, right? You might have family history, trauma. You might have something in your childhood whereby it wasn't safe to be seen, like what I referenced. Or maybe, something crazy, you're just a crazy little extrovert and you came from a family of people that are more introverted and you got really bad messaging of like, okay, let me just say this. How many women in this room have been told they are too much, not even extrovert, introvert, right? So maybe it's a family thing. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Maybe it's like, do you have to keep talking? Jesus. So it could be family. It could be cultural. So here we are. You're like, oh, go be a lot. Go be more, say more, embellish it, make bold claims. But all that stuff that is in the subconscious is like, holy shit, are you kidding me? No. And let me put the other ones here. Hold on. Oops. Okay, hold on one second. Everyone here. Okay. Okay, not enough experience in your profession, right? So basically, think about that. If you're brand new, you can't make the bold claims, right? So sometimes that's a little bit challenging. There's a way around that. You borrow either other people's experience or you borrow your past experience in other venues. Okay. Let's see. Success identity dysmorphia. So think about that. Y'all
What
know
is dysmorphia?
I'm going to tell you in a minute. So there's I was a therapist, and there's a thing called body dysmorphia. So you look at your body, maybe you're 120 pounds and you see a fat girl, or you look at yourself and you hate yourself, or like it's like dysmorphic, meaning like a disordered way. It's not it's not right, basically. So a lot of people lose weight, they get down to the size 6, wherever they want to be, and they don't see it. They're still fat in their mind. They literally can't see it. So it's disordered body image, basically. So success dysmorphic. So dysmorphia is, I love this one. I created it. So you can't Google it because it's my own creation. All right. So like what happens is you're here, you've done the work, you've grown, but you still have the identity of the person back here. That's a huge one. That's a big one. So when I work with clients, I'm always like, did you notice he did that? Like I'm always pointing out, because we need to mark that, because many of us are just stuck back, So a way to get around that is, how old does this feel? How old do I feel? What age do I feel? Am I my 50, 60-year-old badass? Or do I still feel like the scared 12-year-old? Am I still hearing my mother's voice in my head that, you'll never find a man? Right. So that's an example. All right. So somebody said, these don't apply to me. My resistance is about being rejected or being seen as unremarkable or incompetent. So I'm more visible, but people won't resonate with me, and others still not respond to my offer. Does anybody relate to that? Being rejected or being seen as unremarkable. So just think about that.
Yeah.
If you were seen, so here's how I would say that, and this is an anonymous, so I'm not going to call names out here, but if you were seen as unremarkable or incompetent, what would that mean? So see, that's that little voice that's like, oh my God. So literally run that. So think about that. If somebody saw me as less than the image that I'm portraying, or if they saw, something that, everybody knows that it's no big deal. They're not that great, right? What would that mean? And we have to get, that's the next. So as long as that, like, it would mean X, it would mean I would be a loser or a failure, or, you know, I would really run that. And what would that mean? 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 Then we get to the bottom of it. It's like, is it true? Oh, is it true? Because again, this is that little voice is going to tell you, that's going to prevent the visibility. And here's the thing. It has to be okay if somebody sees you that way, right? Like, yep. So sometimes owning the things you are terrified, like, okay, so we're gonna do this, and you don't have to, we're not gonna do this on the on the recording, but you guys can type it in the chat room if you want. What would be, and I'm not gonna say names, so we'll just do it in the chat. What would be the worst thing somebody could say about you? This is a great exercise. If somebody called you this, if somebody thought of you as that, so just type, okay. If somebody says she's a lying fraud, okay, so what else? This is good. That'll be the worst thing. Like if somebody said that, you would just like, somebody said boring. Yep. A fraud. You're a fraud, deep fake. Not even a fraud, a deep fake. Oh my. Oh, you're so real. I've touched you. You are very real. Okay. And the reason I ask you that is because whenever there's shame, see, here's what happens. So we have that fear. I'd be boring. I'd be unremarkable. I'd be considered a fraud. We are in relationship to that, and we're trying to compensate. Does that make sense? So that's like, I got to make sure they don't, as opposed to, I'm just going to say this because I'm Teresa and sometimes I'm a liar. I'm Teresa and sometimes I'm a fraud. I'm Teresa, sometimes I'm boring. I'm Teresa, sometimes I'm fake. Those weren't my words, but I want you to say those things yourself, because if you get to that point of like, yeah, there's a part of me, and if you believe in past lives, in another lifetime you were all those things. You probably were. So if you could get to the point, my loves, if you could say, yeah, there was a part of me, there could be a part of me in a different experience there, I'm sure I lived that. That's okay. Does that make sense? I did not get that question. Okay. So whatever you're afraid of, I will tell you this. I took speaker training, brilliant speaker training, this fabulous speaker training. And somebody said, well, what if somebody heckles? What if there's an audience member that complains and challenges? And that's so brilliant. The guy said, that will never happen out there unless it's in here. So nobody has ever said, Therese, you're a terrible speaker, or you're full of shit, or you're wrong, or I don't, because I don't have it living in here. We have our own hecklers in here. So therefore it gets projected out there and we get the experience back. So if you're afraid of being seen as boring or unremarkable or a fraud or a liar or not enough or whatever, it's because it's living in you. And I want you to embrace that part. So it could be, number one, it's yours, could be not even yours, could be this life, could be another life, could be just truth. Did I take this on for somebody, or am I carrying something? Or, so what? Maybe sometimes I am boring. Yeah, I'm probably boring sometimes. That's okay. Can I be lovable being boring? Can I be lovable if there's a part of me that fears that I'm a liar? See what I mean? I don't want you stuck trying really hard not to be something. The more you're not, like, remember, I was like, I can't be like so-and-so. So I wasn't being Therese because I was trying to be not her. And I was doing everything like, today I'm really bold. You'll hear me say, you guys should sign up. You should work with me. But back in the day, I couldn't make those claims because that would turn me into a fraudulent liar like she was. So I was so busy not being something, I couldn't get the true visibility. Okay. Let's see. Who do you think you are? There we go. That's an example of suppression. Who do you think you're like, I'm the freaking queen, gang. Today I'm the queen. And so you kind of go, yes, I honor that. That was a family message. Do I choose to have it today? And more so, Annabelle, is it still living in me? We need to fire them. Like the exercise I did with Alice. I honor you. Now go. I'm out. Okay, somebody says something else here. Hold on one second. That while I'm giving a public speech, my oldest daughter will show up and tell everyone how awful I was. Yep. Yep. So there's a part of you that's gonna just be awful, Alice. And that's okay, right? And the more we can embrace, because see, it's really hard to be in our own businesses. And I think it's harder yet when we're service-based business owners, or we have crazy wild ideas like Silky, living off grid, creating a whole new eco village, right? It's a special kind of crazy and courage that it takes to go, this is me, I'm selling me, all of me. And sometimes it's wacky, and sometimes I screw up, and sometimes it's very hard to put yourself out there because we're so conditioned to act this way, be this way, do this. And so you have to get really thick skin. And the way you get thick skin is to love all the parts of you. Is this helping? Because I feel like I'm a little bit, but I feel like this is so important. Yes. Can I get some yeses? Can I somebody say something?
Yes, this is helpful.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's helpful, and I've never said that out loud
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And it
It-
is this big, scary visual thing.
Yeah. So
'cause-
run it, run the whole thing. So here's
Yeah.
the thing. Would you live if somebody showed up and said, wow, you were terrible? Because here's what happens. We go, I have a little fear. Oh God, never mind. I won't do it. That's that contraction part, as opposed to that would suck ass. That'd be really uncomfortable. Would I die? Would they cut my arms off? Nah, I would just do it again. So that's when you run through the whole fear, then you're like, oh, it neutralizes it. So who's Silky? You want to ask a question for me or comment?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I totally agree how important it is to be completely authentic, because
Mhm.
I've been going through this whole process of starting a YouTube channel, and that obviously
Yes.
involves lots of trial and error,
Yes,
being on
yes.
camera a lot. And
Yes.
originally, I just started videoing myself totally spontaneously, and then to start getting more viewers, I took a course on how to properly set up your channel, because I had no clue about
Yeah.
YouTube, and started scripting stuff. And then I realized afterwards, actually, my videos with the most views were the ones where I just simply turned on the
Exactly.
camera and started talking.
Right.
Never
right.
mind all the strategies, and that people just want to see you.
Bingo. That's it. That's it. That's it. But if you have parts of you that you find not so great for public consumption, or you've been told you're too much, or who cares, or you're too old, or you're too fat, or for me, it's, oh, you have wrinkles. That's me. Nobody tells me that. That's just me. That's mine. Like, oh, if I didn't have the wrinkles, I'd do more. And I'm just being real. Like everybody has their thing, right? Whatever our thing is, and we have to go, nobody gives a shit about your wrinkles. And if they do, bye-bye, right? We have those things that hold us back. So if it weren't true to the person that asked me those questions earlier that started this, what would be different? If you go, so what if somebody, so what? Because that's a story. You've probably been told that, or maybe somehow you got that experience. What if that's not true? Because it's kind of like, imagine this is a dog whistle. You know what the dog whistle is? It's imperceptible to the humans, but the dogs are like, oh, so what if, and with messaging as well, next month messaging, is you want to be so real that you become the dog whistle to the people that are like, holy shit, she's speaking to me. Oh my God, I'm so sick of these, little yappy boss bitch babes. I want somebody grounded and real and a little boring. That would be great because I can trust her. You see what I mean? So when we know that we are here for the perfect person and our people are just waiting for us, it's in who we already are. It's not having to be different. Does that help? Yes. So, okay. All right. Let me share this next one. You're going to like this one. Da, 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 da. Now I got 3 different places. Okay. All right. So you're going to maybe do a screen capture of this one. So these are other places where the subconscious blocks. And this is also related to money, because the goal is visibility equals money, right? Right. Yes. Okay. So if I were to get more visible and make money, I literally want you to answer this. I'd feel guilty for. I want you to answer that. in your mind, screen capture or write this down. If I were to get visibility, which led to money, I would feel guilty for. So the next one is, who would be affected if I were to stop struggling? Like if I got really visible and had great financial success, would anybody be affected? It's a little bit of the previous questions, but it's just to focus a little bit more specifically. The person who would be most upset if I got visible and had lots of money would be, so I'll tell you where this plays out. Lots of times, put the questions here. Lots of times I will have women, or generally women, oh, I did get the wrong one. Sorry, let me grab that. Lots of times I'll have women that have the like, I don't think I could make more money than my husband or my partner, right? So there's the block of, they may have that one. If I made more money, one of my favorite stories, this is a subconscious block. I was working with a woman who was a consultant. You might have heard this story before. And we'd give her strategy after strategy, these great strategies. And finally, I'm like, you're getting the best strategies. What is going on? And when I was able to do this subconscious work with her, the conflicting intention part was, if I make more money, oh crap, then I'll be able to leave my husband. So I can't leave my husband now because I don't make enough money. If I make more money, I could have the choice to not be married anymore. And I don't want to deal with that. But so do you see what I mean? How that block, it seemed unrelated to her business, but it was that was it. So does anybody have any questions about these three? So this is the guilt part. If I got visible, was really out there, I'd feel guilty. Anybody got one of those?
Can I share a corollary
Yeah.
that just popped
I
up?
would love that. Sure. Yeah.
So mine's not directly like that, but it's like, if I made more money, who would have more expectations of me?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Right. Yeah. So that's the challenge, right? So when you think of expectations on you, what does that do? Maybe
Like,
shuts
if
you
I made
down.
more money, then I'd have to pay for blah, 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 or someone would expect me to pay for blah, blah, blah.
I've had that too. A lot of clients, I'm like, it's like, well, my brother's an alcoholic and I don't want to pay for his treatment, but that's not a conscious choice. It's not like, brother, I love you, but tough love, you're not going to, I'll keep my income here so they won't ask me and I won't be able to say no, I can't, they'll justify. That's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay. Love that. Okay. We're going to keep going and I promise we'll do clearings in a minute. I'm not holding back from you. I just want to get through some of these and it'll pop which one I'm supposed to work on here. Okay, so this is the guilt part. The next one is what I call the greed part. We've already spoken a little bit about this, but how would money change me if I had a lot? I told you what my experience was. And again, visibility is equal to money. So it's all connected because you're not getting visibility just for the followers. You're getting visible so that you create more income, so that you have more reach, more influence. And that means you're way more visible, right? Like that means more people are seeing you, potentially taking pot shots at you. Haters gonna hate. And so we have to look at this. Okay, who would I turn into if money came easily into my world? If I was very visible and things are suddenly, like if I'm no longer struggling, if I've broken through, money's easy, is there any like, oh my gosh, could I turn into somebody else? And what's the worst thing that could happen if I became wealthy? Because these are the things that are living in there that are holding you back. Does anybody have one they would like to share? Or you can share it in the chat or speak it, whatever you want. And so conversely, what's the payoff? So let's just take, okay, yeah, this is where we're supposed to go. Okay, this is where we're supposed to go. I got it. The level where you are now, the level of income, exposure, impact, visibility. How is it perfect that you're here? and I really want you to answer this, and you can share it or just chat it, but answer it to yourself. How is it perfect? Because you've designed it to be here. So what's the payoff for staying here? So because when we first started this call, many of you before we recorded talked about, I'm so ready, I have everything and I'm afraid, or I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not. So how is it perfect that you're not doing it? So some of it might be all the things that I've talked about. Those are some of the triggers. Some of it might be capacity. If you got some new clients in, do you really have the capacity? Some of it's a time capacity. Some of it's an energetic capacity. Another part of it could be identity. Well, I've always been kind of a person who just got by, or I've always been a person who, really focused on taking care of others, and like, wait, what? Suddenly life is easy. Maybe it's an identity thing. Some people, their identity is bouncing against something, moving away. I'm so sick and tired of this. I got to do something because I'm sick and tired of it. And so in some ways we push down the ease, we push down the flow. So how is it perfect? And I want everybody to answer this for themselves. How is it perfect where you are? Dallas.
It doesn't, okay. They can't find me or take it away.
Yeah, that's a past life thing.
Yeah.
That's a big past life thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So the you, that whatever that experience was, and we're going to do some clearing on this stuff for everybody. But so that, I love that you found that, because we could give you all the strategies. You could be working with me as a client for years and years and years. But if there's something in there that's like, no, this way, they won't take it. Right. So again, remember, the goal is to make the subconscious conscious. And I was like, holy shit, can they really take it away? Probably not. Right. All right, Silky.
I'm really happy and comfortable the way I am now. Why should I aim for more?
I just got goosebumps on that one. Exactly. So why are you aiming for more? Right? Because it's a thing. You're working your ass off. You took a really hard path here. Long term, it's going to be phenomenal, but you really are in the trenches working really hard. So I can see how that part is like, oh, come on, just write your books. It's easier. You don't have to do this. Right? So that's why I remember in the beginning, I was like, what's your why? What's your why? What's your why? That'll help mitigate that. Okay, so what would be the scary things? Okay, so this is like, this is what I call my flip it on the head technique, right? So what's the potentially positive thing about you staying where you are? They can't take it away. I'm happy now. And what's the potentially negative thing? And your brain's going to go, it's not logical. I know. That's why it's the subconscious. That's why it's a part, right? What's the potentially not so great thing about getting all the visibility you desire? And don't dismiss anything that comes up. See, this is how we pull it, like, holy shit, that? I told you, my friend Lisa, who was at $500,000, it was just like, oh my God, I couldn't spend much time with my daughter. Good to know that. Is that really true? No, but it has to float up. Yeah. Silky.
Yeah, for me, a big one has been recently that I am living in an extremely impoverished area of Europe now, and I'm quite worried what the villagers here would actually think or even do if I'm super rich suddenly. I'd be just that nasty expat who is showing off in front of everybody.
Right. And so there might be some truth to that, right? And you can also put divine protection around you in your place, right? But these are the thoughts. So when you get to this level of, okay, I'm here for a reason, it's perfect. I literally want you to right now, everybody just go, where I am is perfect. Because most of us are in resistance, like, I shouldn't be here. What's wrong with it? Nothing's wrong with it. Okay, so number one, stop fighting. Okay, so I want to just say this cohort, we're going to do a clearing in a minute. How open to more visibility is this group of women on the call? More than 50, more than 60, 53% open. Okay, so about halfway open. All right. Are we open to do a clearing? Are you open to do a clearing on this one? Yes? Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to do specific clearing. So hold on.